Major Mohammed Ali Shah, defense expert, is also joining us live now on the broadcast. Major Shah, this is of course a big moment for the forces. A surprise visit being paid by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the Adampur airbase this morning.
Absolutely, Uday. Uday, our security forces are always ready 24/7 and our soldiers never on leave or off time. A soldier is always on duty. Even when a soldier goes on leave, the soldier is on duty. So when a Prime Minister visits the Adampur base, it is indeed everything would be ready. Now, the enemy, when I say the enemy, I talk about the enemy across the border and those who have infiltrated across and who have managed to influence certain minds over here. I talk about that enemy as well. They have to watch out because our security forces are going to be aggressively out for them already, as you rightly indicated, because the security forces were alert. Information is to the point. The encounter is already on in Sofia. We are going to flush out every single militant. Every single terrorist, no terrorist is going to be spared. You know, I had fought insurgency in J&K and in the Northeast. In the Northeast, we had militants. So we were so used to calling them militant because they were into militant. But here they're terrorists.
Has rattled Pakistan. It's also sent out a message to the world community late last evening on New India's policy on terror. The new Modi doctrine on terror has been laid out before the entire world.
Absolutely, Uday. You know, the new doctrine on terror has been laid down before the entire world. And as Colonel J.S. Sodhi said, rightly said, he gave out a very crystal clear, crisp message to General Asim Munir from his side. And I think it was a very, very clear-cut message sent across. Now, the policy on terror is very clear. Why should we wait on for another Pelgam, Fulama, 2611, for another 13 December, or another terrorist strike? Prevention is always better than cure. We have to make sure that we do not. I'll give a small example of that. If there's a bomb blast, there's a big news that there's a bomb blast and intelligence failure, what are the security forces doing and such thing. But what we do not see is the other 100 bomb blasts which our security forces prevented from getting blast. So our security forces are actually doing a very, very commendable job, and every single terrorist is going to be flushed out. It's already started by the flushing them out from Sofia. I'm sure other places are going to be seeing the same thing too as well. So they are in for a serious, they don't know what hit them in fact.
Yes, it really also shows Major Mohammed Ali Shah that, you know, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, like the rest of countrymen, are standing shoulder to shoulder with the armed forces. We are eternally grateful to them. We are thankful to them. And we, of course, remember them in times of conflict, but we don't forget them when it's over.
Most certainly, Uday, most certainly. Uday, I will tell you a small story in 30 seconds. In the year 2003, when I was at the line of control, 30 meters away from the Pakistani post, a neighboring post, one of the Jawans was wounded by the enemy fire because Pakistanis were firing across. And that's the time he was so badly injured, we had asked for the CASVAC of the helicopter. Helicopter would come and evacuate him. That's the time the commanding officer of his battalion came in a gypsy in the rugged terrain, and immediately the word went around, "Sio sahab aa gaye, Sio sahab aa gaye, Sio sahab aa gaye." And this man who was almost, he couldn't get up. He suddenly got up from where he was lying down, saluted his commanding officer with full josh, full energy, as nothing had ever happened to him. And he says, "Jai Hind, sir!" So now that was the morale when the leadership turned up there. Now when the Prime Minister goes there, of course, it conveys a very loud and clear message that our leadership is standing shoulder to shoulder with our brave hearts. Also, it's a very good lesson in leadership. In fact, people should learn from that.
Shah also continues to be with us at this point. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, clearly, of course, this is, you know, a Prime Minister who spends his Diwali with the forces. This is a Prime Minister who goes and, you know, of course, goes and takes out time to speak about the forces' issues as well. Major festivals, we've seen him go across the country and, you know, be with the Jawans who are away from their family. The Prime Minister goes as their family member for these special occasions. So, you know, it's not just today that he's gone to an airbase after Operation Sindoor. This is a Prime Minister who makes it a point to go and visit the Jawans in the harshest of conditions, be it in Kargil or in the heat in Gujarat, close to Kutch. The Prime Minister makes it a point to go and visit them personally on special occasions, when their conditions are harsh and when everything may not be favorable for them either.
Right, Uday. Uday, I remember about a couple of years, about 2-3 years, I had even gone to Leh Ladakh without acclimatization or declimatization at this age, and a young soldier also requires acclimatization when he is going up to Ladakh and de-acclimatization. He went on a single day, he went up, came down, he addressed the troops. It makes a lot of difference. It makes a whole lot of difference. The morale. In fact, the army fights on the morale. When I say army, I mean Army, Navy, Air Force, I mean the armed forces. They fight on the morale. It's not just the machine, it's the man behind the machine. And where does the morale of the man behind the machine come from? The leadership.
So clearly, as you can see there, of course, the Josh is high at the Adampur Air Base. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacting. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, of course, interacting with the forces there, with the Jawans, of course, and sloganeering. Clearly, the Josh is high there. Major Shah, the Josh is very high in the Adampur Air Base. Bharat Mata ki Jai, Vande Mataram echoing.
Most certainly, Uday, that's exactly what the point you were making earlier. When our leadership goes there on ground, it makes a whole lot of difference. And the Josh is everything. In fact, the Josh, the Hosh, the senior lot, the generals and the senior people are there to look after the Hosh. They take the strategic decisions. It's the youngsters with a lot of Josh, bubbling with energy, who charge upon the enemy, totally unmindful of their own personal safety, go beyond the call of duty, अपनी जान की परवाह करे बगैर अपनी जान की बात लगाकर अपनी जान पे खेल कर जो दुश्मन के आगे कूद पड़ते हैं. Those are the youngsters, in fact, in the army. So even they use the Hosh and the Josh both. But when a leadership like the Prime Minister himself comes up there, and you mentioned earlier that how on Diwali he spends every Diwali on the frontiers, the troops who safeguard our national frontiers, be it on the western frontier, be it in the north, be it in the east, be it anywhere. So that is something which is which our troops now, for example, they were surprised. It was a surprise visit, and it was with a lot of love, and you can see the kind of morale, the Josh of the troops. There's nothing in the armed forces, in the Indian armed forces, that cannot be done. Our troops are so solid, they're so strong, they can face any eventuality anytime. Why? Because their morale is...
Throughout Operation Sindoor, the forces really have shown how world-class our forces really are, how world-class our military really is, Major Shah, and also how coordinated it is, how well coordinated it is. We saw how, of course, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force all came together with such synergy throughout this operation.
Absolutely, Uday. I was speaking to a senior general officer yesterday, and he told me the best part was the whole nation. When two nations fight, it's not the troops, it's not the armies or the Navy or the Air Force, the whole nation fights together. So our nation, everyone came together, united, and the capability of our armed forces was shown straight away in the might. We had got Pakistan down on their knees. We could have got them down furthermore. That's a different story. But already we had got them down on their knees, and it showed how not just our offensive when we struck the 9 terror camps, also our defenses like the S-400s. They were so effective when these Pakistani drones were launched, where every projectile of theirs was intercepted and was destroyed in the air itself. We safeguarded every single citizen. Imagine, had the S-400 not been there, there was so much of controversy, there was so much of trouble when we were getting the S-400 from Russia, because Turkey had just got sanctioned on that. We were at a big risk. We were at the risk of being isolated. We were at a risk of, getting sanctioned from the US. But yet we went ahead and did that. And I'm so glad we made the right choice and right decision. We got that. So our offenses have proved themselves. Our defenses have proved themselves as well. तो हम किसी को छेड़ेंगे नहीं, मगर किसी ने अगर हमको छेड़ा तो उसे हम छोड़ेंगे नहीं. That's why it's called the Indian Defense Forces. We defend ourselves very, very well. So my compliments once again to our brave hearts there.